I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
And this is Dreamcatcher-Scream. This is a K-pop.
Shout out to the big homie Revo.
Oh, this is Revo. This is our K-pop guy, right?
Yeah, the only guy who has a secret board. Only he knows what it is.
Yeah, we set
No,
him
don't
up.
say anything. Don't say anything.
All I'm gonna say is we set him up lovely. Just put it that way. That's what we say in the hood.
We hooked him up so he can hook me up.
Yeah. So there you go. Well, I mean, he deserves it.
Yeah. Alright, so anyway, this is a K-pop song, and...
Yeah, I'm looking for the remote because I don't like that green background.
Okay, well, I've been trying to find the remote for a while, and
it was in here.
I've given up, so
right,
if it's bugging you so much, unplug it.
For timely topical political commentary, you can hit us up in Middle America with Vin and Sori. I did a live thingamajig about a couple hours ago, and I know there's a lot of things I could talk about, but I'm not going to. So there's that. So time and topical political content. Check us out in Middle America with Vin and Sori. If you, dear listener, would like your song reviewed, there are multiple ways to accomplish that feat. My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon, where you get to join an alliance. You pull your points together with your alliance buddies, and then that influences what song we do. Or what you could do is you can go to PayPal, or there's still a space in Patreon. But VinandSoriMerch@gmail.com, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. And you can then decide what song for yourself. That's the Ronin option or the Filthy Capitalist option, whatever you want to call it. Okay? And that's what the big homie Revo has done. You do that 3 times, you get knocked down to the $75 rate, which is where Revo better be. And there
I know for a fact he is.
Speaking of Patreon, all the payments cleared. If you meant to cancel your subscription and you were too late, don't worry about it.
Or you were stuck in a cabin somewhere.
Or you were stuck in a cabin somewhere.
And it fits his name.
Yes, it does. Send her an email.
Okay.
And she'll take care of you. With that, let's go. This is...
Here we go.
Dreamcatcher.
가려진 눈앞이 피로 물들여지네. Tell me why I could lie. 차가운 바람은 불고 시선이 느껴져 와. 혈관을 타고 흐르는 Oh pain. 묶여진 두 손 저려 오는 이 느낌 모두 내게 돌이 던져도 벗어나지 못해. 하나도 난 재미없어. 누구를 위해서인지 누가 좀 말해줘. Tell me. 타오르는 불길 위에 now. Please I don't want to scream. Double eyes come. 눈을 뜬다. 눈을 뜬다. Please I don't want to scream. 가면 뒤에 트릭 가소로운 freak 커진 증오가 나 무작위 속에 target 겨울은 갈증 삼켜도 위선은 다 내 탓이라 해 내 멀리 그친 절벽 위에 후회만 남을 선택이 돼 날카로운 칼날처럼 날이 손말이 상처되어 파고들어도 끊지 못하는 숨 하나도 난 알 수 없어. 누구를 위해서인지 누가 좀 말해줘. Tell me. 피어오른 연기 속에 나 Please I don't want to scream. Double eyes come. 눈을 뜬다. 눈을 뜬다. 모두 떠난 후 다시 눈을 떠 사라져버린 흔적. Can
Oh, to be continued. Okay.
So this is a standard kind of pop song. Here's the thing about pop music. I was thinking about, for some reason, I don't know why, but did I say this out loud? In Sync had this song called Dirty Pop.
Okay, what about it?
And they were like trying to like separate themselves from the other boy bands.
Oh, no.
So they came out with the song Dirty Pop. And they were like, this is Dirty Pop. This is not your regular pop. This is Dirty Pop. And all the other guys are clean pop. But we're Dirty Pop, so we're different.
I do remember hearing that song going around. I just didn't know.
Yeah. And it was like, bruh, what are you doing? But see, when NSYNC came out, like that's when I had, I don't know when NSYNC came out, but when I became conscious of them was around the same time I became conscious of Korn. Mm-hmm. So I was like, man, this is shit, man. Blah, 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 NSYNC, blah, blah, blah. All these pretty boys, man, get out of here. So, like, I didn't, I had no respect whatsoever for NSYNC or pop music as a whole. Mm-hmm. And there's like a stereotype with pop music that they're not saying anything significant. It's all contrived. They're all copying from each other. They're using the same chord progressions, blah, 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 blah. That may be true. But I don't know. There's some pop songs and singers that are actually saying significant stuff lyrically, even though the packaging is pretty much dime a dozen. Right? So like that's like one of the main differences I think between metal and pop music is that metal has such a wide, you can listen to Magua or you can listen to Iron Maiden and it's completely different music. But both of them are impactful in a very unique way in their own way that you don't see replicated in any other genre of music, particularly pop music. Having said that, I was watching a thing about Michael Jackson, like the first time he did the moonwalk, and the moonwalk was done to the song Billie Jean. Okay. And Billie Jean, it's a real life. I don't know how real, true to life the situation was to Michael Jackson or his family. But it's Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl that says I'm the one, but the kid is not my son. So this is like a real life, like dirty, grimy situation. Like the kid is not my son, and he was saying people always told me be careful what you do. Don't run around breaking young girls' hearts. Blah blah blah. So like that, he was saying some deep shit there. Like that's a deep song. Like it's a pop song and it's catchy and whatever, but it was deep. So you look at this song and she's like, it looks like, oh, this is a dime a dozen. This is a K-pop video. But what I'm noticing with these K-pop people is some of these songs are really significant and there's a lot of societal commentary in them. Like the other one where he was talking about like being a loser or something, and then the societal pressures on the younger generation from the older generation, whatever, spoons or whatever. I don't know. But this one is like the presentation and the sound sonically. It was just a regular pop song,
You're killing me. What do you think the song's about?
It had the little dances, but she was saying very significant stuff. My covered.
If you had to pick a theme, what would the theme be? Because I want to know if you're right or not.
My covered eyes are stained with blood. Tell me why I don't lie. The cold wind blows. I can feel the stares. All the pain flowing through my veins. My tied up hands. The numb feeling. Although everyone throws stones at me, I can't escape. None of this is fun for me. Who is this for? Someone please tell me. On the burning flame now, please. I don't want to scream. So, however I or you interpret the song, like. Those are some real metal type lyrics. Lyrically, that was metal. Yeah. It was presented as a pop song, and she did the little, I'm a pop person, blah, 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 and, they gotta sell records, whatever. But this person is going through some stuff. I don't want to scream, devil eyes come, I open my eyes. I don't want to scream. Spreading out within the darkness, scream. A trick behind a mask, a ridiculous freak, a random target created from the increasing hatred even though I swallow my burning thirst. Hypocrisy is all my fault at the end of the cliff. Regret is the only choice that remains. So that looks, there's some suicidal ideation there, right? Like at the end of the cliff, regret is the only choice that remains. No. I mean, that's brutal.
Yeah, it is.
That's I read a story in high school one time. For some reason, me and my best friend went through this phase where every day after school we would go to the library. This is me and Sharif. We would go to the library every day, and that happened for like a month. I don't know,
really?
maybe 2 months. I think some of the reason was we would go into these chat rooms on Yahoo because you could go on the internet because we didn't have internet at our house. We didn't have a computer at our house, and we would chat with other Korn fans because we were the only metal fans that we knew. So we would get on these forums and chat with these Korn fans, and that's how we were like. But then I would also pick up books, and there was one book's like the top 10 worst suicide stories or something like that. So I read one of these books, and it was people who attempted suicide but survived. And it wasn't, I mean, these are like people who were serious. Like, so there was this one story about this guy who jumped off a bridge or something. And the guy talked about how the minute he did it,
He regretted it.
he said, "What did I just do?" And it was a pretty terrible, I mean, he ended up paraplegic. I mean, it was a bad situation. And so when I'm reading those lyrics at the end of the cliff, regret is the only choice that remains. And it made me think.
There was a girl that I had read about too, where she had some fight with her boyfriend. She was so hurt and upset about it. I don't know, maybe they broke up. She came home and she shot herself in the face. She was young. She was like 15, 16 years old. She was young.
Did you know her?
No, I don't remember what my connection was to that situation. Honestly, my memory, man, it's very frustrating. But anyway, she, I don't know how I was connected to that story.
I feel like you knew her, and she had some experience with God, and she shot herself in the face or something like that.
No, she didn't have. I don't know if she had an experience with God maybe after, but she lived. She survived, but she was like cute little thing, and then she did that, and so her face. I mean, she's been through so much plastic surgery and all that, and it doesn't. I mean, it's not the same, and she regrets it, because it's like that's she probably doesn't even care at all about that boy anymore, you know what I mean? But in the moment, he was the big thing, so she made that decision, and you can't turn back, and she survived it. So, but now she looks at herself and she's like, oh, why did I do that? You know what I mean? Like, all for that. Some people it's not something that they've been planning, but all of a sudden, like, something comes up and they're like, you know what? Oh no. I don't know. That's what they say, but I don't know if that's actually true. I don't know if it's. Cause some people, it's anytime that they get in certain situations, they kind of think about it.
I mean, you shoot yourself, man, you mean business. Especially if you shoot yourself in the face, you mean business.
I know, she wanted it over, she said.
I could have sworn you told me she had some experience with God.
Well, she may have. I don't remember what I read about that story.
I don't remember you saying you read it. I thought you talked to her, or that you knew somebody that knew her.
I might have, because I talked to so many different people, honey. I hate that
Anyway, that's just like, that's a crazy idea to me. And we watched this movie a couple nights ago.
Oh, I think I know what you're thinking of. We were talking to that guy that had been through a massive fire as a kid. His Holly was all burned up. He was talking to us for a while, and he had an experience with God.
No.
That's the one? Okay.
Literally the one the girl shot herself in the face. Okay. Unless you know multiple people who did that.
No, I don't.
We were watching this movie, and this girl got pregnant by some traveling preacher. And then she goes, I'm pregnant, and then the traveling preacher basically says, you have to get rid of it, and basically said, like, I'm gonna completely destroy you, or something like that.
Well, he tried to gaslight her and said that none of that ever happened. And that she was delusional, and for however she got pregnant, she was gonna have to get rid of it, because she certainly couldn't go around with those delusions.
She's like, you don't remember,
all the stuff you did in your car?
In the backseat of your car or whatever, and he's like, nah, what are you talking? And then he started preaching about delusional people, and she was sick, so she missed church, and he's like, you'll know that they're delusional when they stop coming to church, and blah blah blah. And I was like, yo, this dude's really got to do this to this girl, bro. So anyway, she walks to the shed or the outhouse or whatever it is, and she sets up the rope and all that. She puts the rope around her neck, and right as she's about to, jump off the thingamajiggy, she's like, the narrator basically goes, why would I do this? No, there's people that love me. I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Then she slips off the thing, and she ends up dying anyway. It's just a horrible situation.
You fell asleep. That movie didn't get any better. It was just one horror after the next.
Yeah, it was it was a pretty horrible movie. And I'll probably watch the tail end. I got like 20 minutes left of it. But it was just that whole concept of regret being the only choice after, you make a decision like that is crazy. It's just a crazy thing. Just the finality of it. That's the thing about I think the thing to me about, and I've always, unfortunately, been extremely fascinated by death. I'm not one of these, I don't know how you would describe it, but, I used to know this person, I used to go to all these terrible websites and watch that stuff. I'm more, interested in the stories of people. That's the thing. I'm interested in the story. How did you get there? How did that happen? How did the 8 million decisions, little insignificant decisions that you think are insignificant but conspire together to create a situation where a person finally, makes those kinds of decisions? And I think a lot of it is I'm just trying to reconcile myself to the people that, sometimes I sit back and I go, man, a lot of people died, that I knew. So it's yeah. So it's just a strange thing. So that stuck out to me when we were, looking at the thing. And then she talks about Devil Eyes Come. What did you think the song is about?
Well, I did.
Looks to me to be.
I didn't have a chance to try to see what I thought of it because Revo told me.
Oh, it just looks like a person's in a lot of pain. Maybe can't deal with the fame or whatever it is.
Well, he's saying it's about cyberbullying. And he talked about this girl here, Sully. I guess she had taken pictures, she wasn't wearing a bra, which I don't think she was doing anything by that. I think she just, was just trying to be comfortable or whatever. I don't really know definitively. And in 2017 or something, it was talked about a lot, and she was looked up online a lot at that point, and she ended up committing suicide when she was making a song. Right here. Sully, whom was heavily scrutinized for not wearing a bra in Instagram photos. She even became the most Googled Korean.
She was topless, or she
No,
had a shirt
she had a shirt on. She just wasn't wearing a bra. And so then she even became the most Googled Korean person in 2017 due to this. While filming a TV show about cyberbullying, she committed suicide. That doesn't mean this is about her, but it gives you an idea of what they're trying to convey. So if you need, he said the song is most likely about cyberbullying. The South Korean entertainment industry suffered several high-profile suicides in recent years. Two of the biggest that rocked the K-pop world happened in 2019, and she was the most prevalent. It's just...
Korea seems to have a pretty interesting culture. It seems that their culture is pretty hard on young people. Just based on the songs that we've heard and the things that Revo says.
This and this.
Yeah, there's definitely a...
Just having a hard time.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, it's, yeah, I can't escape. Well, that's the thing about fame is that you cannot escape.
Everybody's got a freaking opinion that they put out there. And it's so, I'll be honest with you, sometimes I go into the comment section because I need a little, fun. And so I literally go in there just looking for, the insults.
Yeah.
And and it's always funny because they're usually stacked. It'll be like, you guys are the biggest morons, blah, blah, blah. You should never do what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then the next person will be like, you guys are amazing. I really love the way that you guys are and the way that you're so honest. And so it'll be back to back, but sometimes I just go through and I screenshot them and then I just look through the screenshots because I think they're so funny.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
There's something wrong with us.
Well, yeah, because a lot of people don't find it that way.
Most people are.
But I think part of it is
we screenshot that shit and send it to each other. Like, look
I know, look
at
at
this
this
motherfucker.
I'll read it to him at night.
That was hell, nigga.
So, like, sometimes
But
I don't
most
even
people
send him the screenshots because I want to read it and see his face.
Yeah. I could use it at work though when shit gets stressful, bro. Yeah, most people are not like that. Like, there's something wrong with the both of us. Most people are like,
well, yeah,
it's
yeah.
just stress. Like we talk to other YouTubers or whatever, and like people like it.
Yeah.
It bothers them.
Well, I wonder.
And they have a hard time.
Like, I feel like regardless of if I was around or not, like, I think that you wouldn't care about what people are saying like that. I don't think it would affect you. I don't know how it would affect me. I know that being with you and it coming out is so funny to me, but I don't know if it was,
This is a one shirt person saying that to a two shirt person. That's part of the reason it's funny to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's an inside joke. But no, I think some of this is right. These people are in their 20s, like late teens, early 20s.
Yeah.
And I just think that your constitution is just different when you hit your 30s. I just think
it does change. You're completely right. It does change.
Because you survive a couple of these life, altering moments, and you're like, I'm still here. Okay. And especially like, if you haven't really dealt with, I think sometimes, especially with like famous people, like being around famous people, and we have one friend who basically gave it up to protect her mental health, and I got hella respect for that, because famous people end up getting trapped within the fame, and then losing it becomes everything.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, it's killing them simultaneously. So it's like, you don't know what to do, because this picture, it looks like a glamorous one. This picture, it looks like a regular person. So it's like, these are just regular people, and people are just completely and totally ruthless. And I don't know what Korean culture is like, but people aren't prepared. And the other thing is, like, people love doing this. We love making people famous and then crucifying them. Like, it's something that happens over and over and over again in human nature. I remember when Justin Bieber got big, and he was this little kid, and he was a YouTube sensation. He started on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how he got big.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And it was like, Justin, blah, blah, blah. And then, I don't know, it just felt like there was some sort of secret cabal in the media where they said, okay, now it's time to crucify this kid. And they just went all out on the kid. And what happens is you don't have the wisdom when you're like 19, 20 to 25 years old. You don't have the wisdom to understand human nature. So all these people saying, we love you, you're great, blah, blah, blah. They really believe that shit. They really, that phrase, they love me, they really, no, they don't, bro. No, they do not. They don't love you. Like, and people have to understand that, and people ingest all these, these ideas that they're loved and that people like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Like, the same people are gonna flip on you. Like, that's just human nature. They admire you and they love the fact that you're doing this great thing, but at the same time, you're a constant reminder to them about everything that they're not.
Yep.
And so they're gonna lash out. And you have people like that. Like, you have people that, and you even see it on the channel. People are like, oh my God, who pays 125? And there's all this anger. It's like, okay, if you don't think that it's worth $125 or $75, don't pay it, bro.
Yeah.
It's free for you to watch it.
Yeah.
But like, there's just this raw, and I remember at the very beginning of not the very beginning, but we got 3 months in, and the channel really, really started taking off. And there was this one guy, and this was before Patreon or anything like that. There was this one guy that wanted like some mega obscure band for us to review. And I remember he reached out to us, and I was like, I was like, yeah, man, yeah. But then we had remember it was Avenged Sevenfold. It was Avenged Sevenfold, Tool, and there was like 3 bands, and like the problem was it was like he was asking for this one obscure band, but then you had
bunches of people
all these people asking for something else,
right?
And at the time we were not very educated about algorithm or anything like that, and now like we've got a science to it. We can say, you know what? Yes, we're gonna lose algorithmically and growth of the channel if we do this obscure band, but there's a shortfall make up for it with the Patreon stuff. So now we've figured it out and it equals itself out. But back then, it was like, bro, what do you want us to do? There's literally 68 people saying do this Tool song, and there's you. Like, I can't do it. And so at the beginning, it was like, you guys are great, blah, 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 blah. And then, like, 2 weeks in, he was like, he flipped, you guys are fake Christians, blah, blah, blah. And again, this is before Patreon or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was just that we would not do his type of whatever.
Yeah.
And, of course, anybody that's had one of those discussions with me, the minute I feel like you're trying to manipulate me or control me, like, I don't give a fuck out. Like, I don't care. Like, see ya. So I was like, psh, But a lot of people. So when he was saying, "Oh, you're this, you're that, you're so great," it literally meant the exact same to me as a person saying the sky is blue, because I do not. There's that passage in John chapter 2 where it says Jesus would not entrust himself to them because he knew what was in a man. So like, you just have to understand that. But when you're 19, 25 years old or whatever, and you don't really know who you are, you don't have a sense of self, and you got all these people, worshiping you, and then the next day they're like, it's like they become like it's a very traumatic moment for them.
I think like for me, we were in a certain circle before, and I was celebrated, and then all of a sudden crucified. And then I think that when we came into the channel, people were celebrating us, and I think I was like, oh yes, some healing. And then I started realizing that wasn't like that. Like, people will turn on you really quickly. And then, so now I've gotten to the point where I'm like finding it, entertaining and stuff. But.
Yeah, and there's degrees of like, there's some people in the channel who I like consider friends, but even in that circle, there's degrees in it, right? Like, because they'll say, oh, blah, 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 but then they have a beef with you. They'll go to, whatever, and talk all this shit behind your back or whatever, or just plain lie. Like, I've caught a couple people, like, they didn't know I was there. I'm like, yo, that's not true. Or, like, there's this other person.
Sometimes people will send me screenshots of some of the stuff people have said about us.
Yeah. And then there's this other guy, he did whatever, and then he makes this giant long post and, like, completely leaves out some pretty salient details where I was like, oh, okay. and you know me, I don't respond to any of that stuff. So he put out in a public forum or whatever, and like, I know it wasn't true. The 3 of us were there. Me, you, and this other person were there when the shit happened. So he knows that he's full of shit. I didn't say a word about it. Because you know how I operate. I don't do that stuff.
I know.
I'm not going to go and defend myself personally to people like that. I just mark them and say, okay. So, like, even among those, like, and then you have, like, your core people that are actually friends, and if they actually have a problem with you, they'll say, fuck you, blah, 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 and we'll go back and forth or whatever. That's the shit I respect. You know what I mean? And those are very, very, very few. You know what I mean? But you can't, like... You can't expect that all this stuff is actually real, because it's not. But a lot of these people don't get the chance to have those experiences, man. They kill themselves because it's just, and you don't get a break now in the cyber world, so it's pretty sad.
Yeah.
But the good song, what do you give it?
10. Because of the importance of it.
It's an important song. It's a 9.6, and inshallah, it saved some lives in Korea for sure. So. Take care of yourselves out there, guys. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.